Well, good morning, pharmacy aficionados. Welcome back again this month to www.salessystem.com.au. My name's Glenn Guilfoyle and I head up the pharmacy specialist firm called The Next Level. And we come to you each month in this form, a short written piece accompanied by a video piece, all in support of the notion, as we've seen it over the last 5 or 6 years, that professionally based, community-oriented pharmacies have progressively struggled to differentiate over that period, especially against the backdrop of the rise of the big box discounters and the ravages of PBS reform. And we think that's a real shame, because the great paradox, the irony is, during this period, as products and prices have become more and more commoditized, it should in fact be the words ringing in the ears of the customer from the beloved pharmacist that actually constitutes the point of difference. And sadly, too often that's not the case, or not enough to create a point of distinction. And so it is that this month's topic is around the notion of a different way to think about rostering in support of your forward pharmacist service model. Here we go. It's 5 p.m. Friday afternoon. Betty, just about to knock off for the day and the week, wanders into the staff tea room to check out the roster for next week. Bummer. She sees that she's on the early shift on Monday morning. Because the trustee roster merely outlines the days and the times of her shift and what days she works, Betty is left to come to sort of some usual assumptions around what she is to do and what the other people who she can see on the roster, who are also rostered on the same shifts as her, are meant to do. After all, why shouldn't she? It's always been that way. After all, again, this is retail pharmacy. We never know on any day which customers are going to come in and what sort of a day it will be like, how many customers and when. We will serve them as best we can, wherever they come to, whichever counter they arrive at, and wherever we can give the most flexibility as a team in order to meet the customer's need. This paradigm in retail pharmacy today would be far more common than not. Workflow and customer engagement studies over the past 3 or 4 years, some 250 in fact, studies of a heterogeneous array of different types of pharmacies all over Australia, show that in fact, if any customer was to walk into a retail pharmacy as a new customer for the first time, the signage, the props, the communications, more than half the time the customer would not know specifically where to go for script in, where to go for script out, and where to go for OTC or medicines advice. Also, there is a similar degree of lack of specialisation in provision of all the tools of the trade for the staff member, be that pharmacist or another role type, to actually administer specialised service to the customer in relation to their specific need. But further, of the other half, more than half, of that half, stop there, Tamara. All right, we'll pick up again on the count of 4. And a 1, and a 2, and a 3, and a 4. Further, these same studies show that of those roughly half that do have some form of adequate signage for service specialisation, about a half of those, so another sort of quarter of the total population, whilst they might have those signs and props and indicators to the customer, actually let Rafferty's rules anyway. So we see, therefore, that around about 3/4 of all pharmacies either just set themselves up for Rafferty's rules at the get-go, and another quarter, or within that, a quarter, actually set themselves up for good workflow and customer traffic flow, but actually execute Rafferty's rules instead of in any case. So therefore, it's no surprise that the rosters are most commonly set up just back to Betty, just to tell Betty what days and what times to come in, because too often Rafferty's rules is the rule of the land. I'd now invite you to click through to the written part of this post to have a look, have a quick read of a different way of thinking about rostering in a much more strategic way, and in a way that can support a forward pharmacist model that gives you a fighting chance for distinction and a point of difference. Of course, as you read and digest some of the ideas in that, don't forget we're only a phone call away to discuss it further with you one-on-one, how it may apply in your pharmacy. And in the meantime, I hope this gives you at least some food for thought for taking your service model to the next level. Look forward to coming back next month. Bye for now.